Daily Grand Alive, this is Coffee with Will, brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Grand Ron Hospital, anythingtodigital.com, and See Bright Dentistry. And I am today here with our Sergeant Armondo Borboa.
Close enough. That's actually, my full title is Staff Sergeant Armondo Borboa, and I am the Public Affairs Representative for the 3116 Cavalry Battalion.
What he said. And he is here today to talk to me about himself, his nerdism, and the Doolittle Raiders Gala that he is hosting in Pendleton on April 29th, correct?
The last Saturday of the month.
Last Saturday of the month.
And it is an all-day event. It's open to the public, free of charge to attend the daytime portion. We're going to have a car show, living history, all kinds of cool things.
All sorts of fun stuff.
And then we're going to do a military wreath lane, which the public is also invited to. And then in the evening, we're going to have an old-fashioned USO-style dinner and dance combined with a military ball. It's going to be great.
It's going to be. So if you are a military or military-oriented person, this is going to be where you are going to want to be on April 29th. Absolutely no questions asked. So thank you for joining me today, Armondo.
My pleasure.
And so tell me a little bit about yourself. First of all, you are as you said, you are a 24-year military veteran, and you are also a big nerd, as you have repeatedly told me, and you started the military right out of high school. So tell me, how did all these things coalesce for you?
So I was one of those kids. I grew up, please don't hate me for this, but yes, I am one of those Californians who are moving up here and ruining property values. So I'm one of those guys. Okay. So growing up in Southern California, I was one of those dual sports nerds. So I did all the academic decathlon, computer club, chess club, all that other good stuff. Plus, I also played sports, baseball, football, and track. And at some point, my coach said, you need to pick one or the other, and I picked the other. So.
Oh, that's the lamest. That's the lamest. Propagating the mind-body dualism that frustrates our society.
I wanted to be the complete Renaissance man, but public education doesn't allow that, unfortunately.
No.
So, in high school, I was an aspiring writer, and I won a few awards for my short fiction. I did it. The best one I ever did was a take on The Lady and the Tiger, and it won one of the Isaac Asimov awards for me. And I was like, oh, great! And I had a scholarship offer, and I graduated, class of '91. And then I looked back at my academic career, and I realized I've spent 12 odd years being an uber nerd, not just a nerd, but an uber nerd, right? And I was a 10%er in the academic decathlon, all kinds of hardware. And I realized if I went straight to college, where my life would take me.
Sure.
I'd end up in some boring job, doing something in an office and hating my life. So I started looking around, I just thinking, I just needed a break for a few years. Let me do something different. And so '91, and the Desert Shield was gearing up, getting ready to go to Desert Storm. And I said, what could be further from academia than joining the military? So I was like, what is the hardest thing you got for me?
It's interesting because a lot of people join the military, then get out of the military and go into academia. Whereas you were in academia and got out of that and went into the military.
I gave up a full ride scholarship to the UC of my choice in order to join the military.
Wow.
And I signed up to be a paratrooper. I ended up in the next few years, it's airborne, air assault, a CIB, Combat Infantryman's Badge. I have a stack of cool things on my shoulder, up my arm and over the back. Let me just put it to you that way, because I was really loving it. At the same time, I couldn't get away from my other passion, the writing and the photography. And I was published while I was in the military, and a lot of my stories started becoming about my adventures in the military.
Absolutely.
And of course, I hammed it up. All my stories needed to be taken with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Of course, it's like a fisherman. The story.
The fish keeps getting bigger.
It keeps getting bigger. So I've got a few stories out there that how I personally saved Western civilization. So
of course.
Just so you know.
We have a big personality here in the studio. He has personally saved Western civilization.
Of course.
At least in his stories.
So that's where I started out. And I was in the infantry and doing all kinds of great things for mom and apple pie. And eventually, you know, it does wear on your body, and you have to decide, hey, at what point do you stop doing that?
Sure.
But I just couldn't give it up because I love being in the military. I love being part of something that's bigger than myself. And that's when I transitioned over more to the public affairs side of the house.
Now, you just mentioned you like being in the military because you like being part of something bigger than yourself. Is that the primary? You obviously love the military.
Oh, yes.
Is that the primary reason you like the military, or is there something special about the military?
To me, I'm also big into politics. And what I mean by that is I don't like anybody in politics. And having served in the military for so many years, I've seen the ugly side of it. But I personally believe that service is a civic duty. You know, nowadays it's not as popular to say something like that. You know, patriotism, you know, it's more passé than anything else. But I do happen to believe in it. And I think as long as I continue to serve for as long as I'm able to serve, it gives me a little bit more insight into what's going on in the world rather than just passively sitting at home watching the TV and, you know, having somebody else tell me what's going on.
So you see it as a way of getting involved with what's going on on a global scale.
Exactly. So I can personally see what's going on, and because as we all know, what's being told on TV isn't necessarily what's true.
Absolutely.
And I've had an opportunity to see these things firsthand. Plus, it also informs my writing. I can write, even though my stories are funny or, you know, they take a humorous bent or whatever, I can still write from a first-person perspective because I was there. I saw what actually happened.
Absolutely.
And it really informs my writing. It really gives it an authentic flavor. And that's always the feedback that I get from people who read my work. They say, hey, I love your stuff. It's like I was actually there.
Wow. So the military for you is a way of feeling connected with the world and also a little bit with a part of yourself, which is your writing.
Yes, it definitely gives me fuel. You know, everybody needs a source for their inspiration. In my case, the stories that I garner from the military, a lot of them end up on Facebook or other social media. Others I write up as feature stories and I send them out to local newspapers, magazines, and you know, you can Google my stuff. Just search for Sergeant Armondo Borboa, and you'll see hundreds of examples of my work, of stuff that's been published in everything from Soldier of Fortune to the East Oregonian, the Tribune, all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's just a source of inspiration. So as long as I'm physically capable of being here and representing my nation, I'm going to do it not just because of the cool things I get to do, but also because of the inspiration it gives me for my writing.
Interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the gala, the Doolittle Gala. So tell us a little bit about what the history behind the Doolittle Raiders are in less than 2 minutes or less, and then what you guys are celebrating.
Not a problem. Okay, so World War II, we'd just been hit by the Japanese at Pearl Harbor, and the entire nation naturally was afraid. What's going to happen? We were afraid of a Japanese invasion, and you know, what do we do? And the determination was made: we need to strike back, even if it's a symbolic blow. We need to do that as a nation. So the Doolittle Raiders, they were originally stationed here, the 17th Bombardment Squadron in Pendleton. And actually several of them lived up in the La Grande area, Pendleton area. So you know, this is where they called home. And they were selected to lead this mission. So they were pulled up en masse and they went to different locations. They trained with these bombers. Now the B-25 Mitchell bomber is a medium-sized bomber. This is a big aircraft. And the only way they had to deliver their aircraft was to put them on the USS Hornet, which is a aircraft carrier designed for fighter planes.
So this is a one-way trip.
One-way trip. There's no way they would be able to land them, right?
Yeah.
So they knew that going into it. Also, this aircraft carrier was designed for fighters. They had barely just a few meters of clearance between their wingtips and the superstructure of the aircraft.
And there's actually a film which covers this. I don't know how historically well it covers it, but Pearl Harbor, which is a Ron Howard film, does cover this. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe it covers it. I don't know.
It covers it. Well, it gives the rough outline, which is true. After Pearl Harbor, they were called up, they were trained, and they went out there. Now, the reason that this is such historical significance, these guys were discovered by Japanese patrol boats almost 200 miles short of their departure point.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so before they were in position, they were discovered, their position was radioed in, and they knew they had to either decide to go or not. There wasn't any time to get to where they were supposed to go. So these guys knew there was no way to carry enough fuel to get to their safe point. Wow. So when these men took off from the deck of that aircraft carrier, they knew, taking off, that they did not have enough fuel to make it to safety.
They were going to crash land.
They knew going into it that they were going to crash. And just that kind of heroism, that dedication to serve your nation, even knowing what it's going to cost you, is what we celebrate. You know, just the heroism of these men in that day and age, knowing what would happen to them, and they went through it anyways. That's what we're celebrating. And not just them, we also have some other historic units like the Triple Nickel. They're not as well known, but they were the first all-black parachute infantry company. Huh. And when, if you know your Oregon history, you know about the incendiary balloons that Japan had sent over the Pacific.
I do not know that.
Well,
I'm from Alaska. I've only been here a little while.
So the Japanese sent a bunch of incendiary balloons. They floated them up, and they trusted the Pacific Current to carry them over the ocean and to the United States. And they were set on timers, fuses, and all that. And they were supposed to start all kinds of wildfires. The Triple Nickel PIR, Parachute Infantry Regiment, they were the first smoke jumpers. So when these wildfires got started from these incendiary balloons dropping their payloads, these are the guys who flew in and jumped into the middle of the woods to put out these fires.
Absolutely.
So I mean, a lot of history here.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want to celebrate, the heroism of these men who, despite all the odds, hey, they knew what the job was and they did it anyway.
Absolutely. So bottom line, why should someone, because it looks like we're getting pretty close to being out of time, bottom line, why should somebody who is invested in the military, invested in this, or just regular citizens, why should they come to this gala to celebrate this event with you and all of the other people who have served their country?
Oh, well, that's an easy answer. If you just want to do something with the family, so this is a family-friendly event, so and it's an all-day event, open to the public, so you can come in, bring the kids. We're going to have some classic cars. We're going to have some static displays, living history. We have so many people from the community that are involved in this. The Pendleton Underground is going to be there. A lot of local manufacturers are supporting it with products. So we're going to have vendors, food. We're going to do some camouflage face painting for the kids. So those are all the daytime events. If you stick around until the wreath laying in the evening, we're going to do a wreath laying in commemoration of the men who lost their lives and celebrating, their heritage. So we're going to do that, and then in the evening we're going to have the gala itself. Now this, if you're into having a good time World War II style, this is where you want to be. So we're going to think of it as a cross between an old-fashioned USO tour and a Bing Crosby movie when he's in the club, and he's wandering between tables and entertaining the troops. So it's going to be somewhere between those. We're going to have some singing, we're going to have some dancing, we're going to have shenanigans, and if you're in the military, you know what shenanigans means, right? It's also a fundraiser, so we'll have some items that are up for auction. And we also have a website. If you can search on Facebook, Doolittle Raiders Gala, to find the event page. We have a online ticket, which is brownpapertickets.com. Okay. And again, Doolittle Raiders.
It's free though. It doesn't cost anything.
So to attend the gala itself as a guest, it does cost. So
it does cost. Okay.
Right. If you want to attend just the dancing afterwards, that is free. But to attend the gala itself, it's designated seating. However, if you do want to contribute, there's also a spot where if you just want to give to the cause, people can make online donations.
Absolutely.
Also, the big draw, we're going to have an actual Mitchell bomber there, and people, if they're interested, can purchase a ride on the bomber.
Wow.
So yeah, it's coming from Madras to Pendleton, and then doing racetracks around Pendleton, and then at the end it'll fly back home. So if you live in Madras and want to ride to Pendleton, you can do that too.
Absolutely.
Or the other way around. So yeah, this is going to be a great event. We're going to have other historic aircraft there, and also some modern stuff, the big Chinooks, the double bladed helicopters that you guys see coming over here every once in a while. They're going to be there at free tours to the public. Wow. So there's going to be a lot going on. A classic 1930s beer truck is going to be there, and you know, we've got the whole community supporting us.
Absolutely.
Oh, and it's going to be a buffet dinner, not T-bone, excuse me, what is it? Prime rib.
Prime rib.
It's going to be a prime rib dinner, so it's going to be well worth attending.
Wow.
And yeah, so you have multiple ways of buying tickets, or even if you just want to support, have a good time, or if you just want to come dress up in your zoot suit or your victory curls and just dance the night away. We're going to have live bands playing 1940s music, so there's going to be swing dancing.
Wow.
And you might even see me get out on the dance floor and show off my
just maybe.
Just, you know, just a fair warning, I might be out there myself.
He might be doing the robot, but he will be out. He might be out there.
I might actually be doing the electric slide. You never know. But the point is, it's going to be a great evening. So you don't necessarily need to be military, but if you just have an appreciation for our heritage, for the for the military heritage, or even just the history of the Pendleton area, come in, show up for the dancing, or even during the day, check out all the displays and everything. And it's a good family-friendly event.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And I have plenty other questions that I could ask Armondo, but in interest in keeping this less than half an hour for Facebook, thank you so much for joining me. It was super fun to talk with you today and
glad to be
BS about writing and military and politics and all that sort of fun stuff. And thank you, LeGrand Alive. If you are interested, be sure to head to Pendleton for the Doolittle Raiders Gala, which is happening April 29th at where again?
Pendleton at the National Guard Armory and Hangar. All the information you can Google Doolittle Raiders Gala. It'll come right up, or you can go to brownpapertickets.com. Again, Doolittle Raiders Gala. All the information is on there.
Perfect. Awesome. And thank you, LeGrand Alive, and big thanks to our sponsors, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Grand Ron Hospital, anythingtodigital.com, and Seabright Dentistry. Please like and share this video and tune in to LeGrandAlive.tv for more local content.